Right?
Can I ask you this? In that region, I'm going to ask you about the 6-11 game in the East, okay? So here you have Kentucky Providence.
Yeah.
This is the first Friday night game on Friday. It's interesting, spicy. I mean, Friday evening, this is the one, like, I got to get to a TV and watch this variety of reasons. Bryce Hopkins Bowl. I said last night to Coach McCall and John Henson that Cal's got to win this game. He's got to find a way to win this basketball game. Do you agree?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, I put out the count like 30 days ago. I don't know. It's been like 1,400 days since they won an NCAA tournament game. Obviously, there was no tournament for a year, but, they didn't go. Then they lost to St. Peter's in the first round. If they lose again in the first round, those fans will go out of their – Mac knows. He lived it. He lived in that area. Those fans, what will they do if Kentucky loses again in the first round?
It will be insanity here in the Bluegrass State. It will be insanity.
Right?
Yeah.
And know, in a shocking course of events, you don't look that upset about it.
No. Don't say that, Fana. Like I go over and do my little workout at Planet Fitness, and every day I go, I got my same crew that's been there for the last year or so. And there's a guy that comes up to me after every Kentucky game, comes over, he wants to analyze the game. He has fired and rehired John Calipari 18 times in the season of 22-23. It's amazing. He told me 5 weeks ago they had no chance to play in the national tournament. He said 5 weeks ago. So I saw him the other day. I said, "What happened?" He goes, "They got to win. They got to win." So, and let me tell you, he's not the only guy in Kentucky like that. They are some diehards, man.
Yes, they are.
They are. It's a big game, needless to say. And
I think they win. I really do.
I like Kentucky too.
Point guard play. Casey Wallace is a straight when he's healthy.
But can you imagine how tight my man Coach Calipari is going to be?
I've said that all year. Listen, there was one game I wanted to go to all year, and I thought it was going to be this game because I thought they were going to be a 1, 2, 3 seed. Now it's almost like, it's a big one, but I don't. Here's my question to both of you: what is the biggest storyline going in? Like, what's the one thing that everybody's watching for?
Bryce Hopkins.
In this first weekend. I'm not talking about that game. I'm talking about overall in the tournament. Because I thought, again, Calipari's first-round game would be the thing everybody's watching. And now that's really not the case because they're not like a huge favorite.
Right.
What is it? Tell me.
Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in.
Duke? Is it Shire and Duke now?
Nah.
Yeah, no.
Brandon Miller, Alabama. Although it's been in the news cycle here for the last month.
Yeah. I don't know what
I do think, Northeast bias here, but Rick Pitino in the tournament versus Dan Hurley is.
That's probably it. That's probably the game everybody's going to talk about the most.
And you know why? It's a game.
Right.
It's a game that UConn's got to find a way to win.
True.
Connecticut has not won a tournament game under Hurley. They are more than talented enough. I give Hurley credit actually in the last month because I think he's done a nice job of getting this team to play pretty well. And as I was watching the Big East Championship game, I was thinking to myself, man, UConn was 1-3 away, and they would have been hoisting the Big East trophy potentially on Saturday night. They would have beat Xavier. Xavier didn't have the legs. So Connecticut will beat Iona. They should beat Iona, but they need to beat Iona. And you know this, Jeff. You know this. If I'm Iona and I'm Rick Pitino, I say keep it 7 points or within with 8 minutes to go on the clock. Because at that point, which coach do you side with in a close game late?
Yeah, if they can keep it close. And again, their guards are good. That's the one thing with Iona. They've got good length. and athleticism in the backcourt. It's up front, I worry a little bit. But again, Sunogo's going to score. You know, the thing you still got to figure out is like, all right, how much you play Klingon in a game like this? Can he play in a game like this, and how much? Because he can be super impactful. But again, you play him with Sunogo, does that really work?
It's hard, man. You get those little guards out there; those big guys become a little bit harder to keep on the court defensively when you're UConn. You know, if
did you feel that way? Hey, when you, especially when you went to Louisville, I mean, I guess you're bigs at Xavier too, but you weren't quite as big. Did you feel that way that again, you're what you were in league play, a lot of that was negated, your size, because you were playing against those smaller teams and they were forcing those bigs to come out and have to guard in the perimeter. How much of a disadvantage is that for some of the bigger schools?
It's tough, especially when that kid starts hitting some shots, you know, when their stretch five starts hitting shots, or you're trying to contain a 5'10", 5'9" water bug type point guard, and you've got a 7-footer that's trying to keep this kid in front on ball screens where he's used to 6'4" powerful guards that maybe aren't as quick. And so there's the differences in style simply because those lower and mid-major teams don't have access to get those type of athletes. And now it becomes a challenge because you don't see it a whole lot. You know,
right. You're not prepared for it. Yeah.
You might see it early in the non-conference where you play a Bellarmine and they've got 5 guys that are all 6'3" that all shoot at 40% and they pass it 412 times a possession. a little different. Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get in the tournament. You get those matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think about it, but it's true. You haven't seen it in so long. And then that team starts making a few and they start to get some confidence and you're the favorite, right? So you get a little tight.
And the ultimate example is obviously UMBC against Virginia when Virginia was so good defensively. They started splitting ball screens, hitting threes, and then guess what? The crowd starts cheering for the 16 seed or the 12 seed. And it's, years ago, we played Notre Dame in the NCAA tournament at Greensboro, and the game before us was CJ McCollum of Lehigh against Austin Rivers and Duke. Yeah. And, we had the game after them, so we're in the locker room getting ready, and you could just hear the stadium reverberating, because people, every time McCollum hit a shot, it was like, oh, and they were all rooting. Of course, he had Carolina fans there because Carolina was also in Greensboro, but they were really rooting against Duke.